Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is March 3rd, which is blowing my mind. My name is Jen Neitzel. I'm the creator of Marketing for Notaries and author of On the Move. And I, of course, am joined by the one and only Laura Bewer, author of The Compassionate Notary. Hi, Laura. How are you today?
Hi, I am super fine. Glad to be here today.
Good to see you. It looks like you're teaching today.
I was teaching this morning and I'm doing admin this afternoon, so glad I have a chance to join you.
Well, how lucky are we that you can squeeze us in with all of your expertise today? Thank
Uh-huh.
you for that. You guys know we are also joined every week by the incredible Matt Miller, the president of the League of California Notaries. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Jen. Hello, everyone. Glad to be back this week. Looking forward to Sue's presentation.
Yes, we have a special guest panelist today, and I'm going to bring her up in just a few minutes. But first, we are going to go over some announcements while everybody's getting in and getting settled. So, I want to welcome any of our brand new participants to TNT. We are thrilled that you're here. This is the nation's longest running free coaching program for notaries. So, you are in the right place. And for anyone who is joining us, on replay on YouTube. Hello, thank you for being here. Please check the comments below for any links that we talk about in today's call. So, you guys are stepping into a mastermind that feels kind of like spring for your business, fresh energy and new growth, and a community of experienced pros and curious driven notaries who truly want to see each other thrive. This is TNT. We go live every week to plant new ideas, nurture what's already working, celebrate progress, and coach you through the strategies that help your business bloom instead of feeling stuck in a long winter season. Now, this is an Ask Me Anything style call. Questions in the chat may or may not be answered. It depends on timing. Priority is always given to raised hands, and you can find the raised hand feature right at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you can't locate it, look under more, and it should be in there or in reactions as well. And you can see the chat room for etiquette, any announcements we talk about, links, and then, of course, speaker information, which is important today because we have an awesome speaker today. Um, let's see. The first thing I want to start with is I'm going to copy this and put this in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. I want to share today is the second day of Women's History Month. And I just published an article um, about three pretty amazing women in the notary space. I'd love for you to check it out. We are honoring Marcy Tiberio, Nicola Jackson, and the one and only Laura Bewer. So I'd love for you guys to check that out today if you get a chance. We should be celebrating women's history all month long. Now, Matt, I'm dying to know. I know you've got a roundtable coming up, but I'm dying to know what is the final letter count from your campaign, your lobbying campaign for the new California bill?
Oh gosh, I don't have it in front of me, but I submit everything on Sunday to the Judiciary Committee, and I want to say it was 1870
Wow,
something. Yeah,
congratulations. That's so exciting.
fantastic turnout. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you to everybody who took the minute or two to complete that form that Matt compiled put together for us. Thank you so much for helping to make a difference with that. I cannot wait to hear what happens. It's the 10th, right? Is when you're going to the
10th is
legislature?
our hearing, waiting to hear back from the committee because they are considering putting the bill on consent, which means it kind of goes on fast track.
Got you. Okay. So tell me what's happening on March 5th now.
The fifth is our monthly roundtable, and we're going to be talking about a few late introduced bills across the country and which states have fee bills this year. There's actually four states that have fee bills this year. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on here in California, what the next steps are. So if you are already registered for the monthly roundtable, don't worry, you'll get a reminder notice the day of. If you are not registered and you'd like to join, it is free for all notaries across the country. to join live. If you want the replay, you have to be a paid member. But I'm going to put the link in the chat right
Already
now.
got it.
You
Oh,
got it.
I
Great. You
already
can
got
sign up
it.
there.
I know. I'm on the ball today for a change. I thought I'd try something new today.
Fantastic.
Well, Laura and I also want to share that we have a CNTDA, a Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent training, which is all about the estate planning opportunity and what a great opportunity it is for notaries. That's happening on Saturday, March 7th, and that's at 11:30 Central Time. So what is that? That's 9:30 Pacific Time.
Mhm.
12:30
Yes.
Eastern. I hate time zones. Okay. But the link to register is in the chat. And if you don't if you can't make it, that's great. Still go ahead and register if you're interested in the opportunity, because I will send you a replay if you are registered, along with a couple of free gifts we're giving away and some other good stuff that you'll like. All right. Last week we took a poll. We're going to do the same thing this week, but we're going to do it at about the halfway mark because that seems to be when we have the most number of people on the call. But we have been talking about changing the time, the start time of Tuesday Notary Titans to 8 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Mountain, 10 a.m. Central, uh, 12, 11 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, could have just gone in a row there. We had last week, we had 49% of the group said yes, they were okay with changing the time. The other 51% said no. Basically, right down the middle. So we've decided that for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in March, that we are going to continue to poll at the halfway mark and let you guys tell us if that is something that you want to do to change the start time of this call from 2:15 Central to 10 a.m. Central. So making it more of a morning call. Don't forget, at the end of every TNT call, we have a survey. And if you feel very strongly one way or the other, you are welcome to put that information in the survey. We actually read that. Okay, so today we have a very special guest panelist who's going to be answering questions with us. Speaking of which, if you guys want to go ahead and get in line to have your questions answered, go ahead and raise your hands now. While I am introducing the one and only Sue Hope, who is the co-founder of Lava Turtle Software and co-owner of Notary Assist Software. She is known across the notary community for her support, accessibility, and technology-driven solutions. Sue merges over 20 years of notary experience with cutting-edge technology. She is the creative force behind the powerful software platform Notary Assist, which is also an all in one marketing, management, and analytic tool for the notary industry. Sue's been a commissioned notary in the state of California since 1999. Since the 1900s, Sue has been a commissioned notary in the
I'm
state of
ancient. Is that I'm vintage? Am I vintage? I don't know.
Vintage. She has personally completed over 10,000 loan and specialty signings, and she also speaks and presents at a multitude of notary community events around the country, including the National Notary Association conference, both virtually and in person. And she collaborates on many notary projects and programs and has guest appearances on many different podcasts. So a lot of those replays are available if you connect to at Notary Assist on Instagram. And I'm going to put that in the chat right now so you guys can connect with Sue on Instagram. You can find Sue and Notary Assist across social media outlets, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Sue Hope. Yay!
That was such a great intro. I'm like, oh my gosh. Who is she? I'm like, who
Who is
knew?
who is
Anita.
this person? Well, how are you doing today, Sue?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today. It's so good to see all your smiling faces on this wonderful Tuesday. Hopefully, you guys are doing well and enjoying your March so far. I cannot believe we're into the third month already.
I know it's insane. And I do want to just take a moment and remind everybody before I dive into some questions for Sue. Today is primary day. If you haven't voted yet, please do so. It's an important civic duty, and we're notaries public. So if you haven't voted, please make time to do that before polls close at 7 p.m. Okay, Sue, now you and I have known each
Yes.
other for a few years. We always have the
Yeah.
best time at conferences and hanging out together. But the reason we wanted you to come on is because it's tax season.
Ooh,
And
sexy. Everybody wants to talk taxes. Yeah. Arr.
yeah, nobody wants to talk taxes except for you because you make it
I
so
love it. It's way more
understandable.
fun when we have a bubbly personality about it, right? I mean, come on. And we can roll our R's. Arr. So, yeah, no, it's just fun. And I am not a tax professional. So just so you know, I am not a tax professional. When I answer different questions, I'm going to be coming from an organizational concept and I'm going to be coming from what tax professionals are asking you to provide.
Mhm.
But I'm not the do all and say all. I would refer you or defer specific tax questions to a tax professional. So,
Yeah, and just like Laura and I, when you guys ask us specific tax question, we are always going to refer you to a tax professional. So I do want to make that clear at the very top. Sue is not coming into this call as a CPA or a tax preparer or tax strategist. She's coming in here as a software professional who has built an incredible bookkeeping software for notaries. So your platform does a lot of reporting,
yes.
putting reports together that we would use on our tax returns. Can you tell us a little bit about that functionality at Notary Assist?
Absolutely. So basically, in a nutshell, when we are solopreneurs or entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
um, which I did not know in the early, what is it, the 1900s? Is that what
The
we're doing here now?
1900.
Okay. So I fell into a lot of potholes. I did not realize the benefits of keeping accurate records. When you don't keep accurate records, it's amazing how much you can give back to the government. And that's really, really fun until it hurts.
No, it's
So,
not.
uh, yeah, right. So, I learned very quickly through trial and error that I needed to take more responsibility and put things into an organized system and not necessarily a shoebox. I don't know if you guys know me, but I am the queen of shoeboxes. I would throw everything into a shoebox because I don't have time for that right now. I've got to go print docs, get in a car, drive, all that stuff, right? I don't have time to do anything, but I would get my little receipt, and then I would just throw it in a box because,
Yeah.
hey, at least I'm organized, or so I
Yeah.
thought.
Or
So,
so we thought. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I was the queen of throwing things into a file box, but that little file box didn't do anything for me. It didn't tally anything, didn't put it in nice little categories. And at the end of the year, I would try to take my box of receipts to our tax professional, and they looked at me like, what, you want me to do this? And I'm like, yeah, because that's what I thought they did. No, well, they will for a charge. Yeah. So, yeah, lots of things that I learned: scraping knees, scuffing elbows. Yeah. So I made a commitment with Gary, my husband, to build Notary Assist so that other notaries did not have to fall down and hurt themselves the way I did,
Well,
and
thank God you did. Thank God
they
you
could stay
did.
on top of things. Exactly. So basically, I read a stat. Good old Chat GPT and I did a little convo the other day because, I just chat with him from time to time. And I asked a question. I said, on average, how much does a notary who accurately tracks their mileage versus a notary that does not track their mileage save and on annual? And it's between, this number blew me away, you all. It's between $3,500 and $5,000.
Oh my God. Well,
So
that
are
makes
you looking
sense.
for some
But
money? Because it's
yeah.
probably in your mileage. So
Yeah.
that figure right there just blew my mind. And it's the things that you don't think about. Like, we might remember to keep our mileage for the appointment that we go to, but we might forget that if we drove to take our oath of office, those are business miles too. If we drive to pick up the supplies at the store, those are business
Mhm.
miles. So there's lots of things, like we might remember the receipt. We might actually remember the receipt and put it into our tools that we need, or office supplies, but we forgot to write down that we drove 6 miles to go
Yeah.
to get those supplies. So unless of course you're using Amazon, then you didn't quite drive, but hey. But these are the things that there's mileage that's basically falling through the cracks, that if you tighten up your mileage tracking, you might find some savings there. And I just could not believe that number. $3,500 to $5,000 on annual notaries
Mhm.
are missing if they're
That's
not
great.
tracking their
That's a
mileage.
lot of money.
That's a lot of
So,
money.
does Notary Assist track mileage?
Sure does. We give you 3 different ways to track mileage.
Look at that.
So
Looky
actually, we actually
there.
give 4 different ways to track mileage. But, so the good old IRS loves odometer readings, especially if you're depreciating a vehicle. I'm using lots of big words here, so sorry if anybody's confused about it. But odometer to odometer is to verify the starting odometer reading to the ending odometer reading, especially if you're depreciating a vehicle. And if you have a brand new vehicle, a lot of times you're going to depreciate that vehicle versus a vehicle
Yeah.
that's paid off.
Yeah.
So notaries have the flexibility to choose one or the other, but you can't flip flop. So once you decide to go away from depreciation, you're away from depreciation. But if you're depreciating the vehicle, you have to stay with that for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do odometer to odometer for those notaries that need that. We also do total miles. So let's say you're using another app that you really like because it's really easy and they use geolocation services, and you can swipe left if it's a business mile and swipe right if it's personal. I think Mileage IQ is something like that.
Hmm.
Let's say you just want to tell Notary Assist how many miles you drove for that particular appointment. You can actually just put total miles. But Notary Assist will also give you the ability to auto calculate. We do not use a geolocation service, but we do use Google Maps. So we will map it from your starting location to your signing appointment and background trip and automatically populate that for you.
Nice.
So if it was 18 miles or whatnot, we will drop that 18 miles in for you. You're always welcome at any time to make modifications to those, because who knows if you have to do a detour or you have to go to
Sure.
UPS to drop something off, or you have to go back to escrow to drop the documents at escrow, or the attorney's office if you're doing a
Yeah.
trust. So these are things that you can always modify, and Notary Assist will Notary Assist believes you are the person that's in charge, so you can always override what we put in there automatically. And then
Nice.
finally, we do have a extra miles category to help you capture all of those little miles that you forget about. Like we were just talking about, if you have to go take your oath of office, if you have to go pick up supplies, if you have to go to a marketing event, if you go to a conference in your local area. These are all business miles because you're promoting your business. So these are ways that you can grab all the different mileage that you have. And then at the end of the year, Notary Assist will run a report that by date order will build you a mileage log, so that if you're ever questioned how many miles you've driven, you can present a chronological mileage log with how many miles you've put in.
Wow. You guys are the real deal. You have everything you need. So I'm curious though, I want to ask you before we take questions. And guys, if you have some tax related questions or tax adjacent questions, you are welcome to raise your hand. Sue is here to answer panel questions with us. So just one more quick question, Sue, before we
Yeah,
dive into these,
sure.
because it is tax season and it's important that we know what we're doing here, right?
Mhm.
Um, what is the number one thing notaries get wrong on their taxes? Aside
What's the
from
number
mileage.
one thing? Okay, so the biggest misnomer is I don't have to pay taxes on my notary, on the money that I make from being a notary.
Yeah.
That is an incorrect statement. So what we want to clarify is you are going to pay income tax on every dollar that you make. So if you get paid $5 for a notarial act, you're going to claim I made $5 for this notarial act. Where we get the benefit, where we get exemption, should we wish to exercise that, and I'm choosing these words very carefully because there is some caveats to this. but we are exempt from self-employment tax. That's the tax that you pay if you're self-employed, okay? When you don't have a W-2 job, you have a 1099 job, the money comes straight to you. So you don't have an employer withholding any taxes. So the self-employment portion is what we may exercise an exemption for, should we wish to, based on our planning with our tax professionals.
Mhm. Yes.
Those
Well,
were lots
listen.
of words, and I'm really sorry, but yes, we all pay income tax. We pay tax on every dollar. Notary Assist will report every dollar that you make. You tell Notary Assist what I got paid for that particular appointment. Notary Assist will then do the math based on your state's maximum fee value that you're allowed to charge. So a notarial fee is different than the amount that you got paid.
Yeah.
So just so you know, those are two different things. Notary Assist will do the math for you so that you can see the difference between your income and your notarial value. And
Mhm.
that's where the exemption can come in. So
Yeah.
Notary Assist will do the heavy lifting for you and give you a really pretty report so that you can see the difference between what your state's max value is and what you were paid. You can then determine with your tax professional, should you stay exempt and not pay into self-employment tax, or are you comfortable being able to exempt it?
Yeah. I asked that on purpose because I just this morning I saw something on, I think it was TikTok. I don't know. Somebody who I did not recognize in the notary space was telling everybody on notary TikTok, like, did you know you don't have to file taxes on your notary income? And I'm just like, "Ugh."
Uh,
That's why,
false,
guys, these
false.
kinds of calls are so very important because you're getting the information straight from the expert's mouth. So, to that point, guys, please go ahead and raise your hands. Let's get our tax questions to Sue. She is here to help us. And of course, any other questions are
Yeah.
acceptable as well. Sue, like I said, has been a notary since the 1900s, so she knows a lot about
Should I
this.
get my white curly wig out or the powdered wig?
I need to get you powdered wig, like a Bridgerton outfit, right?
I could. Yeah, let me get a fancy shawl. Uh, but yeah, and taxes shouldn't be scary. You know, the thing about it is we are already, oh, I'm trying to quote my favorite Laura viewer over here. She always has, we just have to be able to defend what
Yes.
we do, right? So when you're recording into your journal, you have to be able to defend the actions that you've taken. Same with taxes. Whatever you're putting into your taxes, you have to be able to defend them should anybody question it. And that's where Notary Assist comes in to try and help put that all into organization so that you feel confident that you've done the best of your ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got a question from Pam in SoCal. Hey, Pam.
Yay!
Hi, hi.
Hi, Miss Pam.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
So I've been pulling up all my stuff, my tax stuff. And so that was my question, what we just talked about. So on my tax report in the Schedule
Yes.
C, that amount that comes up is what I don't get taxed on. Is that correct?
No. So gross Schedule C is your income. So that's the amount
Okay.
that you were paid for each appointment. It's
Okay.
going to be report on Schedule SE.
Okay.
That's where the exemption can come in. So those are two different categories, but
Got it.
yes, the
So it's the
yes,
SE.
gross Schedule
Okay.
C is every dollar that you've earned,
Got it.
and then the Schedule SE is where you can take an exemption should you wish to.
Nice.
Okay. That's where it shows.
And
Thank you.
SE stands for self-employment. So
Right.
SE is the self-employment portion of it. And that's where our exemption comes in.
Okay. Thank you.
Answer your
You're so
question,
welcome.
Pam?
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks.
you.
You're
And
welcome.
Tanzania has a question for us. Tanzania, remind me what state you're in.
Hi, I'm in California.
California as
Hi.
well.
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Sue, for
Nice to
this.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you. Um, my question is, I'm in the market for a new car, and I was
Yay.
wondering, would it be in my best interest to lease or buy the car up front? And what does that look like as far as the write-offs? Like, can I write off a portion of my leasing, or how does that work?
So, okay, I am going to do little asterisks, because this is a very good question for your tax professional, whoever, because they're going to be able to give you all the little caveats that I don't know,
Right.
but there is a benefit to both.
Okay.
I just don't know which one's going to be the most beneficial for your particular situation. So, yes, you can write off a portion of your payment and or your lease payment. So whether you buy or lease, you can write off some of that because you're using that as your mobile office. Okay. Now, you will be very familiar with whichever way you go, you're going to be writing down what your odometer reading was at the very beginning of whenever you get it. So let's say you buy the car April 1st. You're going to look at what the odometer reading was on April 1st. And then you're going to look at what your odometer reading is on December 31st. Okay. And you're going to write that down. Notary Assist, if you're using Notary Assist, like I hope so, Notary Assist will give you a total of how many business miles you drove.
Mhm.
And then the difference between those miles and your odometer are going to be what your personal mileage is versus your business mileage, because there will be a taxable portion that is personal versus business. So they want to know how much your vehicle is a business versus how much is personal. So you
Got
have
it.
to just keep very diligent records. But yes, there's a lot of benefits. Now, if you depreciate your vehicle, you get to
Mhm.
keep track of all the repairs on your vehicle, tire rotations, oil changes, blah, 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 all that stuff, because that's maintenance into the car. If you
Okay.
choose to do the mileage deduction for 72 and a half cents for 2026,
Oh, wow.
then
Why not? Hmm.
you don't get to do all the repairs that you do. You're
Right.
keeping track of the mileage. So
Yeah.
there's lots of different things at play, but they all kind of build up into um a benefit for you. You just have to weigh all the options out and have your tax professional kind of guide you and say, okay, this is what your benefit would be if you do this. This is what your benefit would be if you do that, and figure out which one is right for you. I thought you were going to ask a question about the depreciation, about the exemption. So, with this in mind, you're getting ready to potentially purchase a car. So, this self employment tax exemption will reduce, if you exempt the self-employment tax portion, it will reduce your income. Okay. So it may make it harder to qualify for a big purchase, like a car, like a boat, like a home. So this is where you have to play with, what do I want to do? Now you can flip between exempting your income and not exempting your self-employment tax and not exempting your employment tax, because different things change throughout each year, right? If you're trying to qualify for a car purchase, you might pay into self-employment tax so that your base looks higher, so you look better on paper.
Yeah.
Whereas if you exempt it, it's going to bring that total down. You're not paying as much into that tax, so you're lowering it. So again, things to think about with your tax professional so that you're in the best position to get the asset that you're looking for. Amazing questions though, and those
Thank
are the
you.
right kind of questions to ask. And that's why you work with a tax planner or a tax
Right.
professional to set you up for success. That's a
Thank
great
you.
question.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Tanzania.
Good luck. That'll be fun. It's exciting, that new car smell.
I know it's the best, isn't it? Larry, I see your hand up, but I'm going to just take a moment and launch this poll.
Okay.
Should we move TNT call time to 8 a.m. Pacific? Can you guys see this on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, so take a second. I'm going to leave it up for a minute. Go ahead and vote. I'm going to wait until we get as close to 100% as we possibly can. And while we are voting, we are going to ask Larry what his question was.
Hi.
Hi.
Um,
Hi, Larry.
my question is, how does Notary Assist track travel if you don't drive? I don't have a car. I don't drive. Most of my signings are within the city, so I'm either on public transit, or sometimes I walk, or sometimes I take like Lyft or whatever. Is there
Uh-huh.
a way of tracking and deducting those travel? miles or whatever?
Okay, so in your situation, that's a great question. So for my urban notaries who may not have a vehicle, but they do travel around, you have exemptions as well. Yes. So it's not going to be the mileage exemption, but what you're going to be keeping track of is the expenses that are coming into your, let's say you're taking the subway and you tap. Every time you tap on might be $3. So those are expenses that are coming away from your business. So you're not getting the mileage deduction, but you're going to keep track of all of the expenses that you're incurring, whether it's a bus, whether it's a subway, whether it's a Lyft or an Uber. These are all business receipts. They're going to be expenses that I would put personally for you in that situation. I'd probably put them under business travel, or I'd have a category called business travel. Or if you even have a car that you had to park, right? Like you had to pay for parking, to get here a meter. These are going to be things that you would be tallying, because you can easily forget tapping in or tapping out of a bus very quickly. You could easily forget that. Notary Assist will give you two different ways to record that. You can record it either as an independent expense on its own, or you can actually tie that expense to a specific appointment. We give you a button inside of the appointment when you're making the appointment. You will give you a button that says expense, and it'll say this expense is tied directly to this appointment. So let's say you have, in this scenario, you print the docs, you go down and you grab the subway for $3 on the way there, and then $3 on the way back. That's $6 towards travel that you did to take care of that particular client. So now you might have gotten paid $30 for this particular appointment, of which $6 is expended out because that's your cost of doing the work. Okay. So you're not, quote unquote, keeping track of your mileage in this instance. You're keeping track of the expenses that you incurred to go do the work that you offer.
Does that help, Larry? Awesome. Well, guys,
Perfect. Yeah.
well, guys, let's go ahead and get our hands raised for any questions for any of us, or for Sue, of course. She's going to be on the panel answering questions today. And I have posted the results of today's poll. If you haven't looked at that, that is now available. But Rochelle in Washington has a question. Hi, Rochelle.
Hi, I do have a question. And nice seeing you again, Sue. I haven't seen you since convention.
I know.
So
What's crazy?
I know, and I can't go this year, so I'm sad.
Oh,
But well, because I bought
like,
a new car
That's
and I have all yes, and it's a hefty car payment, and we won't go
yeah.
into it. So yeah, I can't go. Anyways, my question is, okay, I use a different system
Okay.
and the other people, and
That's
I'm not
okay.
the happiest
It's a
with
system.
it.
I'm happy you're using a system.
yes.
Yes, because I'm looking at it right now. Anyways, I want to convert over to you, and I've got over 1,300 signings. So how does that happen to keep track of everything of my past?
Okay. So we do have an import feature that you can actually download what's called a zip file, a .zip file. So when you're logged in to your account, you should be able to see, I think it says my account in the upper corner, and then there's a box that says download all data and files. And that download will drop to your local machine in a .zip format. That file is what would come over. We have a way of converting it and lining it up with our data, because databases are completely separate, right? So different headers and stuff like that. But we've got a tool that will line everything up, convert it, and then upload it into a Notary Assist account for you. Everything that's available to be exported will be uploaded into Notary Assist. Now, there's going to be some differences there, only because there may not be an export for data that's in there. So there might not be all data. I don't know, because what they allow out may not all come over, but whatever comes over to us, we're going to try and get into your Notary Assist account. So there might be some realignment that you might have to do. But what I've told a lot of my users is especially when you have a big database like that, you want to know a kind of a break point. And that break point, you have all the data is in this format. And then moving forward, all the rest of the data is in this format. Like it may not be important to you to know the type of work that you did on your signing in March of 2023. You might not need to know that that was a refinance, for example. I know that they don't have that to export. Whereas moving forward in Notary Assist, tomorrow's appointment for you could assign it as a refi and you could assign different things to it. So moving forward, data will be slightly different than what it is coming in, but we can get a majority of the data over. I always hesitate to say all because we're restricted to based on what comes down in that zip file, but we can then upload it. And it takes about 24 to 48 hours after we receive it for us to upload it into your account. So we've had notaries basically pick up right where they left off. They're literally just moving right forward. So they see their data come in and then they start moving forward. So you're not down really much at all. I'd say 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, because I can download my stuff into an Excel spreadsheet if I ever wanted to go back and maybe update, my 23 signings or 24 or whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
I would say the zip file is what the program is able to handle. So everything comes, the program itself, the converter, it handles that zip file. So you wouldn't need to go through the step of going into an Excel file unless that's something that you wanted on your machine and to have it there. That would be fine too. But we would need the zip file to convert it to put it into your Notary Assist account.
I'm just one of those people who are really anal. I like to have everything
That's
perfect.
okay. I totally understand, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you can definitely have that on your machine, and you would keep that in your file folder for any kind of audit purpose. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
I just want to say, Rochelle, I've talked to several notaries that have transitioned from another platform over to Notary Assist. And one of the things I hear repeatedly is how easy it was and how great the customer service was to get that done. So
we'll hold your hand.
Yes, Sue and Gary are both very, very good about that. Yeah,
I got you, babe. I got you. Come on over.
All right, Justin in Tennessee has a question. Hi, Justin. You're looking all snazzy today in your tie and suspenders.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. So I've got a one comment and one question. Sue hasn't mentioned one of my favorite parts of the program, and that's the endpoint feature. I
Yes.
get the orders via email. All I have to do is hit one button, says forward to Notary Assist, and within 60 to 90 seconds, it's ready to import, ready to go right into the system. So I wanted to thank you so much for that.
We're trying to help your carpal tunnel be better. We don't want you to have to do all the data entry yourself. So we're trying to automate that as much as possible for you. That was one of the biggest pain points that I think we talk to notaries about all the time, is just not having time to be able to sit and do all the data entry. And so we're trying to flip the workflow on its head, right? So instead of doing everything after the fact, like after you went to the appointment and then getting online and doing all your entries at the end of the week, maybe, or the end of the month, or there's no judging here at the end of the year. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been there and I will help you no matter how you are. So that's fine. But the workflow that we're trying to set up for you now is just like Justin said. You get a confirmation email, you hit one button, you forward it to import@notaryassist.com. It will pend inside of Notary Assist and say, hey, you have a new appointment to review. You review it, make slight changes, accept it. Notary Assist puts it into your schedule and you're ready to go. Now you've got turn-by-turn directions. You've got one-touch dialing to your customer. You've got one-touch dialing to your signer. You've got availability to send an email or a text message on the mobile app, letting them know, hey, I'm running late, or hey, I'm running early. Can I meet with you earlier? We're just trying to help you also keep both hands on the steering wheel and not have to do as much data entry. So thank you, Justin, for sharing the import. That was a very big ad. And I think it's funny. We always know if somebody's having trouble with it because they will call right away. My import's not working. What's happening? What's happening? And it doesn't go down very often, but every now and then there's usually an error that has to do with they sent it to the wrong email address and they're not verified. So you have to send it from the email address you use when you log in. So sometimes people will send it from a different email and then it doesn't go in, and little modification and we're all back up and running. It's all good. It's all good.
So
Well,
I truly appreciate that. I did have one question though. I'm in
Sure.
Tennessee, and Tennessee does not have a statutory notary fee. So when it comes
Okay.
to doing the SE section, how would we address that? Do we just pick a number, or is there some sort of standard on what the notarization fee would be for the purposes of the SE form?
Okay, so Laura might know that better, or Matt might know that better for verbiage for Tennessee. I am not abrased about Tennessee. Tennessee for notary assisted got to be a manual state then. So in Tennessee, you probably have a little box that says, what is your notarial value for this particular appointment? And you would have to fill that out. Now, I know Ron has a different notarial value than an in-person notarization in almost every state that does Ron. Now, as far as that fee, I would defer back to the Secretary of State in your rule book. I don't know if there's maybe it's something that's agreed upon before you leave. I've seen that verbiage before as well. So I'm not 100% certain, but I might defer to either one of those
let's check
nice,
in with
amazing
Laura. Yeah,
brains.
let's
Yes,
check in with
so
Laura.
there are actually a few states out there that got rid of their maximum caps, which means the notary is free to charge whatever they think appropriate, besides any
Okay.
other fees that they charge. So they do not have any standard fee. So it's up to the notary to make that decision. And of course, I hope the notary who makes that decision makes a decision that's consistent, meaning
Yeah.
my notary fees for this year are going to be $15, $20, whatever it is. And then I add my other fees to that. They're not going to, one time I'm charging $5 and one time I'm charging $10. You want to make sure that you look consistent.
Yeah.
So then if that's the case, then Sue, I would think that whatever he enters as his notarial value is how Notary Assist would handle it.
Exactly. So as soon as you decide what that notarial value is going to be, you enter that notarial value. Notary Assist would do the math between it. Now, if you so for an example, you charged $50 for a grant deed, the notarial act was $10 or $15, you would subtract 15 from 50, get your difference, and that's where that would come in. Does that make sense? Notary Assist will do that for you. You just have to fill in the questions that Notary Assist is asking.
Is there a place with the notary assist that I can say my notary fee will be $10 or $15, or would I need to do that for each and every signing?
There is a default section. So in the business center, if you look in the business center and look under business profile, we give you the ability to choose all the different types of signing appointments that you might have: loan signings, specialty general, and other. And you can set a default notarial fee or a default amount that you're going to charge. Actually, it's the default amount that you're going to charge the client for that particular appointment. You would still have to tell Notary Assist, we do not have a default notarial fee when you're in a manual state. And that's because we can't look at your primer and know what it is times whatever, right? So we're asking you for the dollar amount, then we'll multiply it by however much. You tell us how many notarial acts or how much the notarial value is. We'll do the math after that. But we need your input because you're in a manual state. So manual states have to help us out.
Stay in there and you can follow along.
Oh, sorry. Wanted to get
Does
Laura
that make
muted there.
sense, Justin?
It does. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Justin. I want to bring this question up. It came from Melissa, but it goes along with what Justin was asking. Is there a way to calculate the number and type of notary certificates done all on one page?
Is there a way to read that one more time, Jen?
Is there a way to calculate the number and type of notarial certificates completed all on one page?
There's a couple ways to answer that. That's why I'm hesitating. So I'm sorry about that. But what I believe is happening is, yes, in Notary Assist on one part of in the tracking portion of when you add an appointment, we ask you how many notarial acts, and we ask you what your notarial fee is. And we ask also so it's number of docs or signatures, because some states it's by stamp, other states it's by signature. And that's going to be described in your Secretary of State primer, okay? So we ask the number of docs and or the number of signatures. We ask the number of notarial acts, because that will actually break that apart for Notary Assist. Notary Assist actually goes off of notarial acts to multiply that by the max state value. So that's kind of where does it come in on one page? In Notary Assist it does, because I know that it's in this one little section. I don't know exactly what page she's referring to. If it's on a report, on the report section, you're going to see in the tax report every appointment by date order, and it's going to say how much was the amount that everybody paid you, what was your notarial value for that appointment, and what do you report on your Schedule SE. So it does kind of break it down. I think I'm answering that question, and I'm sorry if I misunderstood anything.
No, I think that was the tone of it, but
okay.
I just wanted to address it. It was kind of going along with what you guys were talking about.
Absolutely.
But
And
guys,
just as sorry.
No, I just wanted to say we've got 15 minutes left of the call and we've got 4 people. So let's get these 4 questions
Get
answered.
cracking. Okay.
Tanzania's
I'm gonna
back.
as we're coming back into a quick question, I'm gonna caveat that if you're in Notary Assist and you're doing both remote online notarization and in-person notarization, your settings should be set up for manual, because Notary Assist is going to assume you're in person unless you tell us that you are a Ron. So, and there's a different value for both of those usually. Like I said, $25 is usually the base for a Ron appointment versus maybe a $5 or a $10 in person. So to get your max value, you want to make sure you're in a manual. Your settings are in manual for notarial value. And you might have gotten it after you got into Notary Assist. So by default, it was an automatic state, because for Florida, for example, you signed up, you were in Florida, Notary Assist goes, yeah, it's an automatic state. We know everything is $10 for in person, but you've added Ron. Now you want to have manual so that you can say on the ones that are Ron, you did $25, then $10, $25, $10. So you get your max value. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, Sue. All right, Tanzania, what is your question?
Hi again, Sue. Thank you. You mentioned earlier that if you choose to take the self-tax exemption, it will reduce your income, right? And so I was just thinking, what does that mean as far as Social Security in the future?
Exactly. So if you choose to exempt your self-employment, you're not paying into Social Security, so you're not going to have as much out of it at the end. So that's, again, one of the other things that you have to think about. If you're younger and you haven't paid into Social Security, or you're not paying into Social Security, there's going to be less for you to draw from when you get into the 1900s, like me. Just there's going to be less to draw from when you retire. So you got to think about that too. So some notaries say, the heck with it, I'm just going to go ahead and pay into it because I want to have something to take out when I retire. Other notaries are already retired, so they've already paid into it for a whole career before they become a notary, and they're like, nope, my bucket's full, I'm good, I'm going to exempt that because I want to keep more in my pocket. So again, another thing to ask.
To talk to a tax professional, right? Because everybody's situation is different. But Linda has a question for us. Hi, Linda.
Hi everyone. Hi, Sue. This is Linda from California. Hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. I have a quick question for you.
Gotcha.
Sorry, my GPS going on in the background, so excuse me. But
all right, don't turn.
I won't. I'm gonna try not to. Are you gonna ever? Can we import that information to or CRM, or how could we Can we, or you ever do a
Yes.
CRM
Okay.
program, or how does it work?
So we're not a CRM. We are not a MailChimp. We are not a Constant Contact, but there's so many that are out there. There's a ton. So, and you ask 10 notaries what they want in a CRM, you're going to get 10 different answers. We've kind of gone down this road a couple of times and we've decided that's not our lane. So what we're going to do, what we did instead is we have an export. So all the data in Notary Assist that you're adding every appointment, every day that you're doing, your database is shifting and changing. We have an export that's by date range. So you can go January 1 to March 1 and download all of your new signers first name, signers last name, signers email, signers phone number. You can download that into a CSV file. So we do have an export so you can get that information out and then pick your favorite CRM and just upload that CSV into that CRM and you should have all the data points that you need and it should be very seamless. I've got notaries that are using it quite regularly and so they can keep their database up to date because they just download every 2 to 3 months and then they just upload into their chosen CRM. So we won't do it ourselves, Miss Linda. I'm sorry. We're not templates. We're not doing all that. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
we'll help you with all your reports.
Okay. Is there any CRM that's better with that integrate better with yours, or just is there one particular one? Are they all, you find all of them pretty? Have you
They're
heard
all
any
pretty consistent because we put
feedback?
our export out there in a format that's going to be very compatible with whatever you choose. And so it's really determined on cost, pricing, function, features. So feel free to play with it and upload a file and do a small test, download a small test, then upload it into your one that you're testing out or trying out. See if it works for you and if it's a good fit. And you can always call me and we can walk you through the steps.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Linda. Now,
Bye.
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 Brian in California has a question for us. Hey, Brian.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Brian.
How are you? I had a quick question for Sue.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll follow up with an email in the next couple of days if she.
Okay.
I heard that you can send payment links through Notary Assist, right? Or do you guys have a payment link that
We're not a payment processor, but you can choose to add your link on the cover letter of any invoice that you may send. And you can also put it in the template emails that you're welcome to create. You can create an unlimited number of templates, like an introductory, like, hi, I'm your notary. I'll be with you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Please feel free to call me at this number to confirm or whatever, right? And then there's like a follow-up one. You can say, what do I need to know about your place? Do I need a door code? Do I need a gate code?
Yeah.
But you can also add a link, whether it's for Square, Stripe, PayPal. If you have a URL that you need to get paid, you want to add that to your customer, you can drop it into the body of the email, the cover letter email, not on the actual invoice because the invoice is a PDF, so it's not clickable, but the cover letter, the email is clickable. And if you
So
need
if I
help with that,
send an invoice as in email, it will be clickable, right?
if you send an invoice through the email, yes, the body of the email, the cover letter would be clickable, but the invoice is not.
Okay.
Okay, and we can walk you through those steps. It's very simple. You can add that QR code or a URL.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the things we love about Notary Assist. The customer service is fabulous. Thank you, Brian.
I love
Thank you,
Notary
Brian.
Assist.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
It makes
Sil-
my accounting software go so much easier.
oh yeah.
My tax accountant
Yay.
loves it.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Sylvia has a question for us. Sorry, I sound rushed, guys. I just want to make sure I get Sylvia and
Hi.
Alicia in before we only have 5 minutes. So Sylvia, what is your question?
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you
There
are. I
you
hear you.
are. I
Can
got
you hear
you.
me? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Thank you for teaching us about this Notary Assist thing program. I just want to know, does it produce invoices to send to our clients?
Yes, it does. You can set
Oh,
up an invoice with a template. We have a template for you. You can upload a logo, you can upload all sorts of stuff to your invoice and you can send it directly from the inside the application. You don't have to get
oh,
out of
okay.
it.
Okay,
Yep.
that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sylvia. And Alicia has a question for us. Hi, Alicia.
Hello, everybody. And
Hi.
Sue, thank you for that clarification because I was one of those, maybe not TikTok, but I was one of those notaries that had the wrong information a few years ago and was quickly reminded by my CPA that I was wrong. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Just really quick, so that some of us that would be converting from past programs, how
Okay.
far back, and because I'm one that I hate toggling back and forth.
We'll
How
take it
far
all.
back can we bring it on?
All of it. Bring
All
it.
of it.
Just drop it into that zip file and we'll bring it over.
That is awesome. Okay. And then my next question is, if a notary would, be delusional and leave notary assist, how, sorry, I didn't know how else to say that. Would we have access to our records? Because, some of these other programs, once you leave, you don't have access. So
it becomes, so we give you, you have full access the entire time you're having it. I've got notaries that are retiring, because, we're from the 1900s. So,
right.
some of us are
I'm
retired.
in that group. I'm in that group.
So I have some notaries that have been with us for almost 20 years. We're getting ready to we're in 19 years. Next year will be 20. I'm super blessed. I'm super grateful to be able to help notaries for this long. But I've got notaries that are retiring and they're like, Sue, I don't want to lose my data in case of any kind of audit. I want to have access to it. We do have a maintenance only, and it's $50 per year. You have full access to it, so you can store it as long as you need. And I literally have had a few notaries, after 2 or 3 years, they're like, okay, I'm not going to get called. I'm good. Thanks. I appreciate it. And they're good letting it go at that time. We will hold it and store it and back it up for you for as long as you would like.
Okay. That's what I wanted to clarify. Like if I ever retired ever,
Yep.
But I don't know.
We got you. We got you backed up. We got you encrypted. We got you ready in case you need anything.
Thank you for everything that you do. And again, thank you for this platform.
Oh, my pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Wow, Sue, I got to tell you, the questions have been
I like
awesome.
rapid fire.
They've been
This is
on
good.
fire. We got them all in. I was worried there for a minute.
I was too. I don't know if anything's in the chat, so I'm sorry. I didn't check the chat. But
I think we got them all. I was encouraging them to raise their hands. So, yeah, I think we got them all.
Yay.
So
and our trial, just in case anybody wants to know, go to notaryassist.com, visit. We've got a mobile app for both Android and Apple, so you can check us out in the App Store. You can check us out. We have an unlimited. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say unlimited. We have a 20 appointment trial. There's no credit card needed. Why? Because I don't want you to have to sign up for something, forget about it, and then you pay for it for 3 months, and then you're mad because you've been paying for something you didn't use. So you don't have to hit the subscribe now button until you're absolutely ready. There's no credit card needed, and there's no time restriction on your 20 appointments. So if you're a brand new notary, you're spending more money than you're making right now. I'm sorry, but that's the cold-hearted truth. So get something in place where you can put all your expenses in, your mileage, your appointments. You can start playing with it. You can start asking questions. We're here to ask questions for the trial users just as much as we are for the people that are paying us. So we're here to answer your questions, and you've got time to do your 20 appointments before we're going to ask you to subscribe. We'll ask you to subscribe when it expires, but that's it.
yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you so much today for answering everybody's questions, for being the amazing Sue Hope that you are. We love you dearly.
I love you guys.
I feel like this was an easy call. Laura, Matt, and I got to kick back today. It was kind of fun. So I have a little thing
I'll come back again. I just want to make taxes. I want to make taxes fun and I would say sexy, but nobody likes taxes. But we'll make it fun and savvy, and everybody gets to save money, and saving money is sexy. So that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Well, I do this thing every week, Sue, on TNT, where it used to be like I would catch her off guard, Laura, and I would say, Laura, close us out today. And she'd be like, oh, deer in headlights. But now she, of course, is prepared for it. So, because she knows it's coming. But Laura, would you like to close us out today?
Sure.
Close us, Laura.
I want to remind you of something that I learned from Jim Rohn. He's one of the guys that I follow. And he
Mhm.
says, work harder on yourself. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. This week, choose one skill you've been meaning to develop and take the first step. Buy the book, watch the tutorial, schedule the conversation. The tree doesn't wait for the perfect conditions to grow, and neither should you.
Oh, I love that.
Wow, I love that. All right, guys, come back next week. We will be here, same time, same bad channel. Thank you. Bye. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue. That was fabulous.
Oh, my pleasure. This was so much fun. It was good to see all your smiling
I
faces.
know. It's good to see you too. I will see you in Orlando.
Yes,
All right,
hopefully
my friend.
before.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.